Vinyls, yeah.
Smell.
I have that like new paint smell, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So unfortunately, PVC was amazing back in the day anyway, still, yes.
That's right.
So I think we all got high. When you got your house decorated, you'd be like, yeah, feels good, you know what I'm saying? Even though there were core drugs later on in life and got taken out, but not good for the lungs anyway. But we won't be suiting Dulux paint or Crown paint back in the day. But anyway, this is Roger and Affinity Xtra alongside my colleague Kevin Tomlin. You would know us from the amount of, man, we've done a lot of things on Black History, bro. When it comes to music, and this is about the journey, 5-hour journey of this. We've got one of your colleagues in the background, Charmin, Elliott, who's going to come, who's going to be coming in.
Now,
We've got 5.
She's Dr. Charmin.
Oh, sorry, forgive me,
Charmin,
guys.
Elliott.
Listen, guys, we have to have manners and respect, you know. That's, you know what I mean?
That's
you
one
have
of
to
our serious elders right here.
Listen, man, he's got doctor. You know what? And that's one thing we used to do a lot in the back of the day. You have manners and respect to elders. You know what I'm saying? You're saying, and you have to call them by the title, you know. You know what I'm saying? You know. And apologies, Charmaine, she, you know what I mean, she won't get the stick out and say, you know what I mean, anyway. So, yeah, so we're allowed to talk like that here, guys. This is a safe place where we can talk about the stick.
Oh yes,
there won't be no child line support for the next 5 hours. How the Windrush generation helped shaping us through the stick and the belt.
Oh yes. So need I say more?
And you know what, we moaned about it, but now we fight them for it.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy. But listen, but we want to really get into this anyway. Still, yeah. So I'm making sure things going on, guys, as we go on and evolve the show. You're gonna see us get settled down, get a flow of it. This is kind of nerve wracking, kind of doing such an important show, and hence why I have got Kevin and Charmaine, because you know if I did this by myself, I'll be a lot of second-hand knowledge, because myself, I'm 50 next year, so I remember a lot of stuff as a child, but I didn't. I wasn't around it, and I think my problem with my generation is that nobody told us the truth. They hid a lot of truth from us, and we didn't appreciate what we had and what was built for us. So we got very resentful for the ways that people treated us and not understand the context of why my dad will say to me, you cannot. My dad would say to me, we had 2 trees in front of our garden. You can't ride your bike outside them 2 things. If I can't see you, yeah, that means it ain't gonna work, yeah? Now, it took, bro, until the other year, somebody explained the context for this. Because my dad's is that guy. I love my dad, but he don't explain nothing. He just say what he, you know what I'm saying? He don't explain it. But there's somebody else to explain it to me. You know, end of the day, still, yeah, there's one rule for English people and one rule for black people. You know, end of the day, still, yeah, he cannot control anything outside of what he could see. Yeah. Now, my friends will be knocking the door, and I grew up in the white area, knocking my door, asking me to go play. No. Because if it goes down, you're outside of my sight. Outside, I can't see you. You know what I'm saying? And he can't control you. Once he's come out of sight, he can't look after you. You know what I mean? And their fear, but it wouldn't tell us the fear and what they face. You know, and I'll put this out here. And my parents loved the area, loved the neighbors. We did Sunday school in the area, the young white kids and whatever. But when we moved into the area, they did a petition against us, and this is in about 79. Did a petition to stop us moving in the area. You know what I mean? And that's the reality of something that's within my lifetime. You know, and this is what you had to face. You know what I'm saying? And then what we do, when we bury our parents, we just mash up the legacy by just fighting over the house, yeah, and then split the money and just throw the money away. And people would think, Jesus. Sorry guys, this has got an edge to this anyway, still, yeah. So we're gonna be really, if we're gonna really touch things today, we're gonna touch some serious aspects. We're gonna celebrate them, but also how we have disrespected them as well, their legacy as well, and sometimes. So we're gonna highlight some things, and people are gonna go in. What can I do now if I've already done that? There's plenty of things we can do. We can pass on the legacy. We can actually pass on the information, actually apologizing through our next generation of our actions. You know what I mean? And so guys, you got a bit of the edge here still today. So we're just gonna be on edgy anyway. So because I love my my grandma to bits, my nan to bits. My nan didn't grow up. My nan didn't, you know, were Christian and Catholic. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay.
Catholic by way around the medallion.
Yeah.
But she had the Jim Reeves and Elvis Presley gospel album. Oh, yo. We hear people laugh as Sister Charmin go, amen.
Well,
Amen.
the thing
Amen.
about that was my dad. That was my dad and my late uncle Enos Gordon, Bishop Enos Gordon.
Yeah.
That was the music that they listened to. I suppose because they're from, let's say, the church that they were ministers in and bishops was actually a sudden state established international church like Church of God of Prophecy and Church of God. So a lot of the music or the hymnal that they listened to was written and composed by those people from the southern states. So they listened to the Chop Wagon Gang and Jim Reeve and Elvis Presley, etc. But there were some of my my dad's contemporary who listened to Sam Cooke gospel albums and so forth.
Now, this
So that was a different.
So sorry, guys. We are not going into why Glorilla won a gospel award. Yes, so and the joke is here, guys. This is absolutely crazy. This is nothing new under the sun. Secular artists singing gospel tracks. It's nothing new.
Nothing
you know
new.
what I'm saying? And this is our problem because we never look back.
Never
In
look
this
back.
world, we don't understand how to handle this situation. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So in that time of Jim Reeves, he birthed, but Andre Crouch come flying through in that period. You know what I'm saying? And he was dropping it like, and then Andre Crouch, anyway, we're going to get to Andre Crouch and all these superstars. But guys, me and Kevin can bounce off for a while. But what we're going to do now, guys, is play a video. Now, this video, I've got to get this right because if I don't get this right, I'm going to get beaten up by somebody in a group. Now, I'm part of, myself and Kevin, we're part of GMIA. So one of my sisters, Janet Simpson, amazing sister, she let the directors know the other day, but there was somebody who's been mentioned a number of times about Clovis Constantine, Salmon, OBE, who was a gentleman who went around recording, born in 1927. He went around in St. Elizabeth. He went around recording, just off a video camera, recording so many different things back in the day, like BBC, and something documenting, it's something which we know we are poor at. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We don't respect.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? We do it, but we don't respect it. So this brother was way ahead of the time. Absolutely way. So there's me doing my videos and recording my events thinking, you know what, I'm flying, man. I'm getting them on YouTube. But this guy was doing it back in the, you know, ahead of the, you know, going to Brixton Riots, going to Jamaica back in there. So we're going to play a show reel that he had up. I went straight into some research on him and a best show reel and it featured Sister Janet on there as well as a 7-year-old child, 8-year-old child.
Oh, Janet is so sweet. So
we're gonna hit this out. Let me just set this up. So guys, we're gonna play this, and you know, so we're gonna be doing a number of videos and stuff. So we're gonna test out the system. We're gonna play this. This is he's got so many tapes. So we're gonna look into this from a legacy going forward in our community. We've got a petition to get access to this information, and we've got to be able to document this.
Where is it now? Who's got it?
Bro,
is he dead now? Is he dead?
He died the other day.
Oh no!
Yeah, so he died at the age of 98. I think so. 98. So
I've heard about him through my dad, actually.
Yeah.
Have you heard about him, Charmin? That guy?
Clovis.
I've heard about him somewhere along the line.
But this, I'm going to play this now, and Kevin's going to make some comments as this go through because I know it's going to touch him. Yeah, Sister Charmaine, Sister Charmaine, she's she's expert.
I think he's going to touch Charmin as well.
Yes, she'll laugh. Yeah, go Brixton enough time anyway. So yeah, you know what I mean.
Yes.
sorry if you you know, any adults that know Charmaine was never went Brixton. I said, I'm afraid I'm gonna, I'm going to break up. She won't, you know, me won't allow them. But anyway, but I'm gonna hit this video. I'm gonna play this. Let me just say this. The importance now of documenting and remind ourselves where we come from, so we can be around a kind of like almost like like you can be in a community situation. We're on a digital community right now, and this could be like a community situation where you're sitting around and you're recognizing who you are. I always said to people, I said, you know, my sons are tall. They're absolutely tall. They're 6'4", 6'2", yeah? So I got tall sons. Everyone's like, how on earth you got two tall sons? If you knew my great granddad, yeah, then you'll know, oh, that's why you got tall sons, yeah? And I decided not to marry somebody shorter than 5'4". You know what I'm saying? So my dad's line, like my dad's still taller than me now, but my sons are taller than my dad. You know what I'm saying? But my grandpa is short, but my grandma's tall. You know what I'm saying? So her dad is like my uncle told me when he saw him, he's like 6'6", like crazy, like, you know what I mean?
Wow.
So when I have my sons and just release this short thing, like my mom's 5 foot. So I unfortunately got me, all the rest of us got stuck up behind my dad. So but if I could just see my great granddad and hear him talk, but I got a picture of him.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And you're in Jamaica, so it's like special to me. You know what I'm saying? You know? And it's me. It makes me know who I am. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And as Caribbean people, our names don't give away our past. We don't have a tribe. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
and that's the importance of it. That's the importance of knowing who you are. Once you know who you are, and we appreciate, as Christians in this space, we appreciate identity in Christ. But there's but you still, it's beautiful to know what tribe you're part of.
Yes, we I think when I look back at my family, they were, especially the white side of the family, the Scotland, they were property owners, they were slave masters. That's a fact. The Gordons, the Tomlins, the vassals, and so on, all the different extractions of them. The Douglas, the Douglas was a Douglas clan in Scotland. Wow, which they actually give territory and permission where the British come through to do things. You know, if you wasn't allowed to go into that particular area, you won't, because if the clan doesn't give you that, they. Yeah. So anyhow, it's a whole
people just operate like say they own the land, you know. But anyway, we have to open it. But this is again, guys, part of the thing. So we just go through the wedding. I thought I had to pause because I know it's caught. Sorry, I didn't realize this was affecting. This would directly affect. But I knew, seeing New Testament, I thought, yeah, I'm gonna get Kevin. You know what I'm saying? But I never knew I'd get Kevin like this.
And I think some people I don't think they're watching the stream now. I think they would remember that event. I think, no doubt, you know.
It's a great conversation, guys. Yes. And we want to even touch base with this, and we do want to, so it's amazing. But listen, let's keep it moving. Boy, this is kicking off, man. Right. I know there was in Brixton Riots. We're not gonna say whether Kevin or Charmaine was at Brixton Riots. You know what I mean? Charmaine has the most guiltiest face. So I'm putting like Charmaine was that. Where was Charmaine? She missed out on a bit of the weekend. You know, she got that guilty look. You know, like she threw 2 stones out there. Still, you know what I mean? She got extra TV screen. You know what I mean? So Brixton Riots, and the reason why we like this was a show reel, guys. I went to her website. I see Janet Simpson. She's logged in and she said, I want to know that clip. Sis, I'm gonna get that clip to you. I'm gonna show you where I got it from anyway. So, and you know what? I'm a computer geek. You just give me access to footage. I will download it down because I'm perfectly. The reason why I do download it, guys, is not to gain no rights. I don't care. I'll put this free to air, people. But the importance is that we lose too much ownership of our footage. We've lost too much.
Too much.
You know what I'm saying? And we don't respect it. There's the documentary series that we saw in Janet's giving us some information. You know that the black festival in New York that we saw in Disney. Yeah,
Oh, my
you know what I'm saying?
goodness.
That footage was held away for 50 years, and we don't realize that. Well, they do realize. Don't invest in terms of our expression, but invest it into the other festival. It's not Glastonbury. The Glastonbury.
The other festival was the Woodstock.
Woodstock, yeah.
Woodstock
They
was
invested into
they
that.
invested in the Woodstock.
Yeah.
And but at the same time they invested in Woodstock, this serious event was actually occurring. As a matter of fact, it's the first time in New York where you had a large assembly,
Yeah.
and the white mayor was acknowledging that. You had a large assembly of blacks, and it was orderly, and the blacks' mum and pop store were doing good business. So it was
Wow.
impacting the local economy. And then you have that was one of the last time you saw Elliott Jackson live.
And the thing is, bro,
tell you,
and
I
it was
tell you,
weekend.
that
It
was-
wasn't one
that-
weekend. It was
It was
4 weeks.
4 weekends.
4
It
weekends.
was 4 weekends,
Yeah.
actually.
4 weekends, and it was run by somebody from St. Kitts. You know how we do it, man.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
St. Kitts, man. You know
And
what
the
I'm saying?
brother hold it down. The brother hold it down so well that it's become an iconic footage
yeah.
of some of the legendary. Had anybody who is regarded as top
Stevie
black,
Wonder.
Stevie Wonder,
Hawkins,
Hawkins. Oh boy, the Hawkins.
Yeah,
when you
Hawkins.
saw the Hawkins live,
staple singers.
staple singers.
You know what I'm saying?
Everybody was there. Everybody.
What's that group that did Arrested? What's that Arrested Development song? The original one. Everyday People.
Yes. Sly Stone.
yes, Sly Stone. Yeah,
they were
yeah, yeah.
doing this stuff.
And the lady that did the song with Black and
Black.
They did.
oh, was
Black,
it- yes,
Gifted and
it's
Black.
Simone.
Yeah. Yes,
Nina
yeah,
Simone.
sir.
Yes,
So,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
man. So,
Of that was the caliber that was at there, and it made Woodstock look like nonsense.
come on now.
Seriously,
So-
the level of professionalism.
But that's
And
why.
wow.
But this is why documenting is important, people, because it makes your children's children be proud of being who we are. You know what I'm saying? And it gives them something to aim for in life.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Can I say something about this documentary as well? It's actually owned by a black brother.
Okay.
Not the Quest.
Quest. Sorry, the Quest. Yeah.
Quest bought it.
Yeah, man.
So
Yeah, man.
it's
Yeah.
now part of our own heritage, controlled by a black brother.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yes.
Now, 100%.
Yes.
Right. So guys, we just skimmed through some of the footage. Not skimmed. We played some of the footage and showreel from Clovis, Constantine, Salmon, and Salmon. I'm just gonna see it. Check a message that said to me direct from Sister Janet, and she's saying that. Oh man! Listen, she's in tears, man. With some
That is emotional, actually.
the clip of the two ladies was my mum and my sister. Oh my word! That's doing a clip up for the putting him loading up the van.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That's her. Oh
That is,
my goodness!
my goodness.
And guys, one thing I would say, right, to everybody, yeah. What I sneakily have done for my family is I take my professional camera to every single party I go to my family and I take pictures. Can somebody take it as part of your duty to create a Google Drive or OneDrive Drive or whatever drive you do that you have access to, family's got access to, and take pictures? Now, you might not have a scanner, even if you get your iPhone out and you take a copy of the pictures and start documenting in a safe space your families. Please. Not just for the funeral program, but for beyond that. I've got hundreds of pictures of the Moore family. And fortunately, I'm a bit of a professional, so I got a bit better over the years. But you got to document this. I accidentally documented a lot, but it's important for us to document. So as that man, and so I'm sorry. I know it's tears of joy from Janet, but this is a time where we're going to be reflecting on that generation of people that did just did amazing
you
stuff.
know, the thing about it, if anybody talks about people of faith, I think Charmin, your parents, my parents, I get very emotional about this, actually.
Yeah, always, brother.
Oh, God. They were people of faith. They did not make excuse. They just got on with it. they put their money together. They work as a team to actually create a legacy. I'm fighting hard. I'm hearing stories by my friends about their parents. I'm hearing stories about my legendary uncle who established 10 churches in Washington, D.C. from scratch.
It's crazy. You know what I mean? And
from the ground up.
Yeah.
And he's the same one who was part of the executive board during the early days with Lysight. And he actually helped to build churches, set up churches in the Midlands and so on. That's my uncle.
Yeah.
So, and I look at Janet's father. He was another legend.
Yeah.
And your parents and so on. And I'm not going to apologize to anyone, and I'm not going to dilute it. Exactly what it is. They actually built the UK.
Wow.
I repeat, my uncles, my aunties, especially in the medical field, in the NHS and so forth, they actually built the UK.
Yeah.
And my friend who actually is my editor for my books, he said this one thing you can remember is that even when he was a union rep, he fought to represent the black teacher because they were fundamental to the UK, what it is today.
And I feel something that and guys, this first hour is just contextualizing the struggle of the Windrush generation, because building churches, building establishments because of rejection. So you've come to a country which already has a building.
Yes.
And then you get told that you're not allowed in this building and build your own building.
You have to do your own building.
But you never came over with the material, or you never came over prepared to build a building.
Exactly.
Because you was part of the establishment of that building in your own land. And you come over and then you have to build something from scratch. That's why I'm almost empathetic for some of the mistakes of our Windrush generation, because they never came here to build churches. They came here because they got called to this country to save the motherland after World War II, after it got decimated.
Yes.
That's what they were called for. And they actually got fooled into coming over here. My mother-in-law spoke about her uncle who came over here as a scientist in Jamaica.
Yeah.
And for the rest of his life, he came here and became a bus driver.
Yeah, because,
but vice versa. If you went to Jamaica as a scientist in the UK, you go to and as a white person, you go to Jamaica, you not only become a scientist, become a NASA scientist in Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? Because we would not. You will give you the opportunity.
Yeah.
You leave this UK as a white guy and you go to, or white woman, go to Jamaica as a bank manager, you become head of finance in Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's wrong for that way. It just shows you the confusion when you look back of how we got treated, because we treated people differently. Now, I don't want to go on a massive rant here, but I'm just thinking what people in and outside of a church space is thinking about where they're at. And what you have to realize as well is that we who still here don't realize how many went back. Yo, listen, it's for real. Now, without radiators, without gas fire, you know what I'm saying? How you warming that house? You know what I'm saying? How are you warm in this house? Now, I've told her, you know what I'm saying? So for me, so guys, there's so many things that, that they face. Now, I can't handle cold people. Yeah. So that's why man have to have radiator. Now, as a child, from my memory, we had a gas fire downstairs. So my mum and dad I remember them putting the boiler in so we could have radiator, but you couldn't switch the radiators on. So all four of us in the holidays would be in the one room, winter holidays, with the gas fire on. And that's the best thing we do. So we'd be hooded around like one gas fire in the area.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
But my mum talk about this thing called, is it paraffin heater?
Paraffin heater, yes.
Caligas, yeah. Yes. No, I remember Caligas at my grandma's. Yes. And the bedroom is a stink of Caligas.
Yes.
But paraffin is something which dangerous.
It was dangerous. Unfortunately, there was a lot of domestic death and fire, and also it can actually poison you because the fume of it, you have to open the window after a while because it was very strong, the paraffin, and the truck needs to come around at least once a week and actually deliver it to the respective home, and we come out in our particular can to collect it, and we pay the truck driver who deliver it once a week, and people are just lining up waiting for it as it passes through. I God, Jesus, I can remember some things.
God,
I remember also burning coal as well, coal fire.
Coal fire.
Yes, I did remember that.
Listen,
yes.
we do coal at barbecue, innit?
Yeah. Now we
no barbecue ain't coal.
Actually,
barbecue is actually
tempered
wood or whatever. Yeah.
But I remember that as well in some of my family homes where we used to have the big coal fire and then chop the wood and actually put it in there to actually keep. So there was two things. You had the coal delivery and you had the paraffin eater delivery coming at least once a week within the given neighborhoods.
Wow.
And that is not too. I can actually feel it now and remember it. It's so vivid in my mind, actually.
Wow.
Some of the challenge. And by the way, going off a little bit off key at the moment, I remember on many occasions that the late Mr. Martin, who used to live at my home, and my dad used to chase down teddy boys because they tried to put fire bottles into our letterbox to burn up the house.
The man went there.
Yes, so my dad and brother Martin is two big brothers, they're tall. My dad is 6. And my dad used to actually go out to protect my auntie. He used to actually come to my auntie's place of work to pick her up, to make sure she arrived home safely. You know what I'm saying? So although he was a committed Christian, he would put him and my uncles they would knock them round the joint. Because they're protecting their sisters. You hear me? No sister went out. The truth. No sister go out. You hear me, bro? No sister go out. We didn't. This was a practice. This is a practice when I was growing up, actually. My dad told us as youngsters in the church, you protect your young ladies. You wait for them and you take them home after choir practice and so on. None of them must be walking on their own. No. No, they have to be taken home safely. So we used to wait for them. We used to wait. And we walked them home. Make sure the door is shut. We used to do that when they were coming from school. We used to protect them. So I'm very, very, I'm from that school, so I understand protection. We used to fight for each other. But anyway, that's another...
protection racket.
That's another situation, but,
No, but guys, this is something that, you have to realize that, what they're going through. So this is actually really, really, really cool because we're getting to understand what songs and what type of songs and how they sung it and why they were singing it. Singing it. So when in certain churches that were full of non-black people were singing, all things bright are beautiful. All things
please give me a break.
Yeah, we could not sing that song because we like all things bright and beautiful. All creatures great and small. Rat.
And listen, they're going to church and they're singing, sister, we're just offering a song during testimony. We have a hanker. I mean, come on. I mean, and they know what they're talking about. Especially the week that they had. The week that they had. And especially their nurse at the NHS. And the white patient is telling them, you can't touch me. I don't want to take care of me. One of my friends said, one of the black surgeons said, well, you die actually if we don't treat you tough.
Yo, Kevin, sorry, I didn't realize that Kevin's gonna loose out today, so Kevin's going with all the stories that I'm going, Kevin, don't say this.
Well, it's experience
because we're gonna realize why we sing from our belly, why we sing this, and if you guys dive in TikTok or whatsoever, we are check us out on YouTube, with the main videos out there. You know what I'm saying? And, nothing but love. Guys, this is something that, you're going to see clips and versions of the videos that we will be playing today, some of the things. And we want to celebrate the Windrush generation, but we have to contextualize the stress that they were under. And we cannot demean the reason why, when somebody said they get squeezed and you refine, as in, they got refined.
Oh yes,
they
were
were put through something else.
They went through the mill.
Yeah.
And
you know what? You sometimes look at pictures and thinking, why? She's 30. She looks so old. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? When we wanted yo, they have to be vigilant. You know what I'm saying? Not just the clothes. You think about it. It's not just the clothes, It's being vigilant. Yeah, it's like you come to the UK in your early 20s and when you turn into a big person within 24 hours.
Oh, you better get the big person very quickly because it was either sink or swim.
You know what I mean? Nothing prepared you for it?
No, nothing prepared. My mother was telling me some of the things that she went through and my auntie and so on. It was like you were thrown in the deep end.
Yeah.
There was no, remember, you were thrown in the deep end and sometimes there was no suitable bathroom to actually take care of your little daughter and son. So you have to get basin and all kinds of different things.
Basin,
Basin, remember the big basins?
Man.
You remember Charmin, the big basin?
What we used to call them? We used to pale. Is it pale? We're pale. Yeah, man. It's little man.
Oh yes.
Because the toilets were downstairs. So when it's little, you go to grandma's house. You had a pail to use in your bedroom.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
The Emmanuel paid. And
yes.
listen, your body was not tuned to do anything else but have a wee at night because that's a long one right there.
Yes.
And you know what? It's not even that the toilets were downstairs. Sometimes they were at the back.
They were at the back, outside. I remember them when I went to some of my family homes, cousins and so on, and friends, their toilet was outside. And I'm telling you, when it was winter, it was no fun to go outside.
Bro.
Listen. Hello.
There's no eating, bro. Listen.
Yeah. And yes, there was no eating in the toilet neither. So the houses have some form of eating, and you had to go out there in that cold element. Gordon Bennett, you know what I mean? Look.
Yo, I'll go down to once a week, man.
That was.
I couldn't do that.
Some of my cousins' home, I avoid going there because I know I had to go outside. Yo. It wasn't, well, anyhow.
But listen, guys. So you got a context out of Kevin that things were a little hard out here still.
Well, considering the time I was born, actually, it was the late 50s. So I could still remember the burnt out houses. That was, when I got up north to Birmingham and so on, and different places around London where they were still trying to build up after being flattened by the Luftwaffes. Yes, Luftwaffe.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I saw it. That's
in the 60s, isn't it?
Yeah, during the 60s, the early 60s. And I remember
over a decade afterwards.
Yeah, I remember also when the bus driver had to walk in front of the bus because the fog was so heavy. He had to walk in, the conductor had to walk in front of the bus with a lantern to see where they were going.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember all those quite vividly.
Sorry, people, just in think Kevin's 88. He's not 88.
No, I'm not actually, but it's just that I was born at a time when there was still more Windrush people coming in to take up the jobs. Yeah. They were coming.
And you was born here, innit?
Yeah, I was born here.
Yeah, cool.
So,
just emphasize.
So
he's born here, but his first one born here?
Yes, I was the first child to be born of my parents here.
Okay,
yes.
Okay, crazy. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right, people. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna have a bit of a vinyl break after that one. So I can get a quick fan in the corner.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
So,
I do apologize for anybody who don't really want. Do not Google Teddy Boy. I don't know what that will look like in 2025.
No, don't do that. Don't do that because we're going back to the time when. It was really the rock and roll period, actually. The early rock and roll.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah, Bay City Rollers. It's probably a bit earlier than that, in actual fact, because we're talking about we're talking about they were imitating after Elvis Presley, etc. During those wild rock and roll days, if you know anything about that.
We're not going to talk about stolen property there when it comes to rock and roll. But
but there's another.
we're not going to go there. So, guys, you can tell me and Kevin's already done podcasts together. So we 5 hours is minor for us anyway. But listen, right. So, guys, I'm gonna again, the vinyl is out there. Let me just flip the screen onto the vinyl. Let me just get the vinyl out, people.